I met my fiancée on the first day of college completely by accident. I programmed my schedule into my phone but hadn't accounted for daylight savings time. Therefore, I show up to my first class an hour earlier, unknown to me. I had decided that I was going to make a real effort to put myself out there and be social. So I sit near the front of the lecture hall. I'd shown up with plenty of time before class, which was an hour earlier than my real class. Me and these four other people start talking about where we're from and stuff like that. They're all freshmen too, and I'm really stoked because it's before the first class even, and I found a group of friends to hang out with. One of these people is this gorgeous girl in the row ahead of me, and I fall in love with her the first time she turns around and asks me my name. Right before class, we decide to all get lunch at one of the dining halls later at a specified time. About 15 minutes into the class, it becomes really obvious that I'm not in the last class. I go to my schedule and online and realize that my entire schedule in my phone is an hour early. I'm too embarrassed to stand up and leave at this point, so I just stay. I almost didn't go to lunch when and where we agreed upon because I thought it would be embarrassing, but I thought there was a chance that gorgeous girl would be there. As luck would have it, I run into her in the lobby of the dining hall and we eat lunch and talk for 3 hours. We never saw any of the 3 people from the class, and I don't think I've spoken to them since. I add her on Facebook rather than ask her for a number because I'm a coward, and we get lunch together several more times the first 2 weeks of class. Then she asks me if I'll go with her to this party that her roommate wants to go to. We both hate it. I kiss her after walking her back to her dorm, and we've been together ever since.
At a garage sale. Well, technically my mom's garage sale. My father was a hoarder, but not of old newspapers or glass bottles or garbage. He hoarded consumer goods tools, CDs, home improvement stuff, camping gear, hunting and fishing stuff. The man had piles and piles of it stuffed into his home, most of it pretty high quality, all bought on clearance. The old man was a sucker for a deal, even if he didn't have a use for it. After he passed away, it fell to us to figure out what to do with a stock of overstocked goods large enough to open a store. So we sold it at rock-bottom prices in the front yard, as is tradition. It was a miserably hot summer's day. My mom requested that I come over and help because the house was on a well-trafficked street and the sheer volume of stuff meant there would be tons of people. She was right. There'd been a zillion people the day before. And though we'd sold a lot of stuff, there was much more yet to go, and today I'd put an ad up on Craigslist. It was even busier. It was a long day of haggling with strangers, but at the end of the day, we'd sold 90% of the load, and we were just getting ready to close up and celebrate our success with pizza. Then this car pulls up. And out hops this gorgeous girl. She starts poking around in the CDs first, finds a couple she loves, then waves me over and starts asking about some she's unfamiliar with. Things she thought that since she'd found a few things she liked, the stuff she hadn't heard might be in the same vein. Not knowing it was purchased indiscriminately from bargain bins all over town, I answer as best I can. I hadn't heard most of them, but I was able to steer her to a couple she might enjoy. We kept chatting and I sort of showed her around, and between helping other people who kept showing up, there was definitely an instant attraction and some really great conversation. She had to get going, so I made her a sweetheart deal on the stuff and helped her to her car. She got in, drove away, and then I realized I hadn't gotten her number. My brother and my neighbor had a fucking field day at my stupidity. But she told me where she worked, at a restaurant down the road. She told me the days she was usually scheduled, so I did something very unusual for me and pursued it. Friday afternoons, I'd drive over from my office and ask to sit in her section. The food was terrible, but she'd stop and chat as long as it wasn't busy. And I caught her mirroring a few times. So on my 3rd visit, I told her I'd love to see more of her and asked for her number. 10 years, a marriage, and a child, and we're still head over heels for each other. So I guess I owe my dad for the posthumous hookup. TL. The only person in history to get something at his own garage sale.